Hello and welcome to the show. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of One on One. This is the Hockey Republic. I'm your host, part of the hosting team, Simon Mwangi, aka Simoninski. And with me, I have my very able assistant, George Juguna. How are you, Jugush?
Very fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Have you taken your 4 o'clock tea?
I'm waiting for a 10 o'clock tea.
Okay, awesome. So today we have Parkroad Hockey Club. This is one of the biggest clubs in the country and one of the, I don't know whether to say oldest, but they have a history in the Kenyan hockey field. So we are here to discuss about their success last season. We know that both teams, Parkroad have 3 teams, but 2 teams won the league last season. So with us, we have the captains of the winning sides, plus the TM. I hope we'll get him on. We've just lost him. Unfortunately, the coach, Kanyi, hangeza kutu join leo. He had a meeting he wanted to attend, so he sent his able TM to represent him, but we will have him on another show. So let's start with the team manager. I hope he's now settled. Dide, if you can hear me, introduce yourself.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Gilbert Momata Momanyi. I am the team manager, overall team manager for all the teams for Parkroad Hockey Club, and I'm a founder member of the club.
Awesome. Let's go to the Badgers captain.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Kana. I'm the overall captain for Parkroad for all the teams, but I play in the Major League Badgers, the major team.
Awesome. The Tigers captain.
Joseph Mbogo, the captain wa Tigers. Mimi sina cheo kubwa sana kama wengine.
Wewe hauna jina overall mahali. Hao wengine wametumia jina overall, wewe hauna overall.
Jina overall.
Inakaa Jerry atakubaia overalls uvae, sasa ndio at least ukue na overall mahali. Welcome to the show, guys, and we are looking forward to have this one on the show with you. Yeah. So Njugush, over to you.
Good. Remember, if you have any questions if you want to know more about Parkroad, don't shy away. Just fill in the comments. Get into the comment section and ask any questions that you have. Dide, let me start with you. Tell us the history of Parkroad.
Parkroad is quite an old club. It was formed in 1992 as an offshoot of the then Kenya Breweries. Kenya Breweries Limited, actually, most people don't know, used to have a hockey team, which they used to fully sponsor to play in the league, and it used to give a bulk of the players that used to go to the national team. At some point, business development, in their business development, they reviewed the options of the teams they're supporting, and a lot of the sports facilities were axed. And then once the sports facilities were axed, it means now that they only were left to support soccer. So once Kenya Breweries Hockey Club was let go, the then members started trying to figure out how to self-support. They used to train at railway grounds in Parkroad, but some of the members used to live elsewhere. That's far away from the grounds. But over time, because of the distance, the team split into 2. We remained at the grounds at Parkroad, but we started off calling ourselves, our first tournament we entered, we called ourselves Wananchi. The other group of people moved to the other side of Nairobi. They formed now what is known as Wazalendo Hockey From that point, after we found Wananchi, then after a while we got ourselves together, watu wa mtaa, we just raised what we had and registered in the hockey league. But I know it took us a very long time to finally be accepted to play in the league. We had issues back and forth then with the then Kenya Hockey Union because they were not understanding the concept of self-supporting club. But all in all, we persevered and we managed to eventually join the mainstream league. That's the brief snapshot of Parkroad Hockey Club. Quite a big history, but that's just the
good. For those good. For those who may not, and we're going to get about how you started, you broke this team into two, the Tigers and the Badgers. But for those who may not know where you guys train from, where do you train from?
At Parkroad, there's the large Angara railway quarters. Inside the railway quarters, there's a playground that is fondly known as Desa. That is our home ground. That is where we train from. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So nyinyi ni club ya mtaa kabisa.
Sasa sisi ndio proper definition ya club ya mtaa.
Good. So when did you split this into 3 clubs? And probably mention to us the third one because we only have captains of 2.
Yeah. Okay. Essentially, we started off as Parkroad, the United Parkroad Hockey Club. That was the initial team. But over time, as the players grew older and got busier and less time, and the younger group of players was filtering in, we realized that we had a huge pool of players. And then at that point also, the Kenya Hockey Union split leagues into the Premier League, Super League, and National League. At that point, we figured, well, we have this pool of players that we'd like to have exposure before they join the main team that is in the Premier League, which is Badgers. So we figured, let's just put together Parkroad Tigers, which initially consisted of like the older players who still wanted to play hockey, and then the young people who needed more exposure. So we combined the two and entered the National League. So that was, I think, 2 seasons ago. That's when the league split.
2018.
Yeah. So as more and more young people came into Tigers, now the older players now filtered off to form the Parkroad Masters. We call ourselves Parkroad Lions, but we're the Parkroad Masters. So we filtered off and then now left again Parkroad Tigers for the young players who are the ones now under the captain Joseph Ombogo, and then the older ones moved to Masters. And that's how we split into those are the 3 teams now under the umbrella of Parkroad Hockey Club.
Good. How many members do you have, or rather players?
Members, for us members, we start from the founder members, the people who began to date. Because what I know is, if I look at, there's a larger group where we like meet socially. Mm-hmm. I know there is 70, 50, I'd comfortably say about 150 people filter in and out of Parkroad one way or the other, as players and as members.
Good. Before we go on, you lost one of your founder members.
Yes, the late Robert Abuga.
Before we go on, yes, if we can just pay a tribute to him before we go on, because I believe he was a very instrumental person in your club.
Yes, the late Robert Abuga, we used to call him Roba fondly, joined Parkroad, I think, sometimes in 1993 or 94, a year or 2 after Parkroad was formed. He was actually drawn into Parkroad by his close friend, Bila Odongo, who you all know. So they came together and they used to have, they had a very little combination up front, and He was a good instrument. He was a good member of Parkroad, and he supported us greatly through the years. Now, those are what we call the older members of the club. Though they do not play actively in the league, they still support and they train the younger people and they support financially others. Robert was a person of cool demeanor, and he was always polite, even if guys had high tempers. Sometimes the games are matches are going and tempers frayed. He was always the one with the cool demeanor. He would calm us all down and get things going again and playing. He'll be greatly missed by the club, and we pass our sincere condolences to his family. And he'll be laid to rest this Friday at his home in Homa Bay. That's what I can. But he's a great man, and we will miss him as a club.
Okay. Good. Now let's delve into your league, and let me pull in Jerry now, the overall captain. Tell us, how was your 2018 season, my brother?
It was a season we don't want to remember, but also we learned a lot from that season. I think given that we were in transition, we had a lot of new players. So trying to learn the system was a problem, and most of them were just from high school, so they had not played a lot of club hockey. So unfortunately, we were relegated. But when you look at the statistics, I don't think we ought to have been relegated. We just didn't win the matches we were supposed to win. And I think we picked the most draws in the league. I think we had like maybe 12 or 16 draws. And those are what really hurt us at the end.
Okay. Before I ask the next question, let me just quickly go through the statistics for that year, and this is how it was. You played a total of 22 games. You won only one match at home. You drew 4. You lost 4. Away, you won 4 matches. Drew 3 and lost 6. And then you conceded a total of 37 goals. You only had 4 clean sheets. So the goals conceded per match was approximately, let's say, 2 goals per match. And then you scored, which translated to probably a goal per match. What was your most difficult, or rather, which is the most game that you look back and say in 2018 you should not have lost, but you lost it?
There was a game. Let's say I'll start with the people will say that maybe I'm overselling, but I'll start with the police game. When just after winning our match against Butali, I think we were now on a roll, and then we had the police on the following Wednesday. The third quarter, I think we were 1 up, and we had contained police. Then the last, I think maybe if Dide can correct me, the last 5-6 minutes, we conceded 2 first goals, 2 similar goals. And that is when we started going down. I think after that, we lost most of our matches. We lost that, then we went to Strathmore over the weekend. We had 3 games, Butali, then Strathmore, then Police. Butali, Police, Strathmore. So after that, we lost against Strathmore. Another game that I thought we ought to have won were, I think, the game against Jaguars, where we just, the weather was terrible, and we were at Jaguars and it was raining the whole time, and we drew that game. And I think we ought to have won that game. If we won that game and won the police game, we were going to be safe.
Okay. And one that you are so happy with You have insinuated towards the Butali game.
Yes, I think it's still a memorable match. It was not easy. Let me not lie. I think people talk about it today because when I went to the dressing room, all my socks were torn from diving on the turf and tackling. They were on us every single second of the game. So I think luck was on our side that day, but also we put in a lot of work because we knew we had to challenge and we had to push them to the limits because we knew we would match their fitness.
Good stuff. And you're going to talk about the fitness in just a bit, but Jose, this is your first season. You're playing in the Super League. How was it for you in that first year?
It was our season at National League because we have just played one game in Super League.
Yeah.
So it was a good season. I can't complain. We had all the experience that we needed, and training with senior players, it pushes you. So actually, when we train, siulemeawa se sana. So when you're out there, we assume we are playing against them. So it has been giving us that morale, and we have been pushing it. So it was a good season. And then the pressure was too much because they were performing down here. So at the end of the day, they call you, why are you not performing? Why are you blah 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 blah? So we had some pressures, but we thank God for everything that we won the league, and thanks to the management, thanks to the senior team, and to all those players when you're digital. But it was a good season. I can't complain. It was a very good season for us.
Good. Simon, if you can get me the table standings, I'm trying to look for it so that we can briefly compare about it. But let's talk about the 2019 season. So you have been relegated, Jerry. You go back to the drawing board. What did Coach Kanyi first say? Because I think this was the first time, and Dide can correct me, this is the first time that you guys had gone down.
I think this is the second time.
Yeah.
The moment you are relegated, I think we didn't speak to each other for nearly a week. People didn't. with the caliber of players, I think people didn't think we were going to be relegated. But the first thing the coach told us when we started speaking again was, lazima mtajitoa kwa hiyo shimo na mrudi pale hiyo jina inafaa kuwa. And those were his only words. He told us, you must go up. I don't care what we're going to do. We are not going to break for the Christmas season. You have to train and go back to the Premier League. So everybody knew that if you're going to be drafted to play for the Badgers, you have to go back to the Premier League. And we also sat down in the beginning of the season, and we already had a roadmap, and so how many points we need to get. So it was either win all games, because the previous season, I think Chase lost only one game. I'm not sure, but the race was very close. So the coach told us, if Chase lost one game and the race was that close, it means we cannot afford to lose. So we went into the season knowing that we must win every game, but one game at a time.
Good. Dide, at the back of your mind, I'm sure in management, that 1 week was not a quiet time, but you had to go back and ask yourself many questions. What went wrong that we got ourselves to this place for the second time running? What are some of the things that you deliberated on to make sure that the 2019 season you are going to go back to where you're supposed to be?
The first thing, because a lot of the times when we dissected the previous season, we realized that some of the losses began. We actually lost the match before even the match day, because there are social aspects. There's about team bonding, personal relationship. If I play with you in the same section of the pitch, and I don't know you personally, what you like or what you don't dislike, what you dislike, I don't know how to pass the ball well for you. I don't know your temperament. I don't know how to handle you. Some of these losses happened even before the match itself. So we had to deal with that from a management perspective. We pushed the team members to bond. You need to know the person you play next to, not just in the pitch. What goes on in their life, what is driving them, what is giving them issues. That was the first part. The second part, like in every team, you realize there is dead wood. So we sat down and just read the Riot Act. It's simple. Shape up or shape out. If you know you cannot match up to what we are getting into, just leave now. Or alternatively, move to the lower team where there's less pressure, where you still have to fight for your number to get into the main team. However, we looked at the Super League critically. Actually, the Super League is very competitive. And there are a lot of matches you're playing, way more matches than in the Premier League. So what we knew is that if the first leg of the Super League, we managed to have an unbeaten record, we were good. All we needed was to win the first 6 matches in the second leg, and we have the league. So that was the strategy. Win all games, or at worst, a draw. But take one match at a time. Let's prepare for each team as it comes. Let's not just, yes, there's the general, the fitness, the tactics, and the flow of play. But let's look at each team as it comes, because the strengths and weaknesses of each team are different. Because there's a wide variance of skill level at that level.
Good. And in terms of, because I can say this without contradicting myself, you're one of the most fittest club in this country. Was that one of the things that was a format of play, how you're playing them? Because I'm just looking at some of the results that you have here, and Jerry has talked about the Western Jaguars game where you drew 1-1 right here, and then that was sometime probably in July, yes, if I'm not wrong. And then several draws back to back with only one win, because I can see you after winning against Butali 1-0, you went and drew with Sikh Union, and then you won against Parklands, then drew with KCA. Then won a game, and then the results now started dwindling after that, because Police beat you, and then Wazalendo beat you, and then Parkroad beat you. Actually, those 3 games was what I think Jerry was talking about. How was it? How was this for you? Because I'm trying to look at the last game that you played, which this was against Strathmore. Strathmore and Sharks. That was on 21st of April. 21st of April, yes. Actually, 3 losses back to back in April, the whole of April. You lost against Strathmore away. You lost. Strathmore Green Sharks beat you at home, and this is one of your main rivals. And then now again you lost to Butali, a team that you had beaten in the first league. What did you look at in terms of winning Butali in the first league and then come home away, at home rather, and you lost the game?
Some fitness aside, which was one of the other issues, because we're also struggling with getting the team, the players to the same level of fitness. Because for you to have a certain style of play, everyone has to be more or less on the same level of fitness. So we are struggling with that. We'd have a few players who are up there on the fitness, others are in between, others are struggling. So that caused a disjointed way of play as you went along. But now, with the fitness problem aside, also, as I said, some of these matches you lose even before you step on the pitch. So those are some of the issues we are dealing with from the playing unit. Because if you actually look at the team, they are training. Yes, they are training. The players are of a good caliber. They've got a good skill set. But when it gets to delivering in the pitch, it becomes a challenge. The other thing we picked out is we realized the mental strength of the playing unit was not where it's supposed to be. Best example being the police match. We were up there, we played. We played well, we were leading. Then we cracked. And if you looked at most of the matches we lost, we would start properly in the first quarter, second quarter, then from the third quarter, things start going south. And from that point, you cannot, recover again. So we once we were relegated and we went back to the drawing board, we also had to work on the mental strength of the playing unit, because that was critical for the matches.
Good. Let me ask about that point of the mental aspect of the game. We also saw last season Badgers. They had a fantastic first leg, 100% record, scored the most goals, had the most clean sheets. But second leg, there was a time it came that it's like you are struggling a bit. You got draws, went to Nakuru and lost. Is it part of something you're looking to improve on? Basically making sure that you don't have the same sort of form while in the Premier League?
I can say yes, it's something we are still working on, because it's a process. And sometimes the process works, but at some points you find weak links and you find there are ways, not forgetting, especially if you're talking about the Super League. What happened is, initially when we began, we were doing well, our strategy was working well, mental strength was up there, physical fitness, teamwork and everything. Then at some point, all the other clubs realized we were on a winning streak. So practically everyone was training to beat Parkroad. They don't care about the rest of the matches, and that's what they come with to the pitch. Because also, if they're training and they're thinking about other ways to beat you mentally, because probably their physical is going to be a challenge. So we also had to deal with some of those issues, the pressure, the external pressures. But we hung in there and we managed to get where we are. But it's still a work in progress.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Probably we read a few comments on Facebook before we proceed to the second section. Odur Gordon says to Kondani already. Thanks Godi for watching. Owino Obunga shouts Omolo. I don't know what that means. And then we have Ediagoro saying Nakucheki. Thank you, Ediagoro, for watching. Mwangi Brayo says overall kumbe si nguo tu. Then we have Alulu says was Alendo last day of the season. I think we are discussing about the matches. Mwangi Brayo says I agree with Jerry Kana. Jaguars game was hectic, if we can use that word. And then thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions for Parkroad Hockey Club, please make sure you put them on the section, the comment section below. Yeah. So moving on to the other part now. Let me involve Jose more now. We saw you go neck to neck with Jake Watt for the trophy. Jake Watt, we can say, gave you a run for your money. Both of you got promoted to the Super League, and as your TM has said, as Dide has said, Super League is very competitive. What are your plans for this season? You've already played one game with Parklands, a huge club, and you put in a statement there by having a good win. So what are the plans?
Basically, from the last season we had at National League, we were able to identify our weak points. We were able to identify what were the things that were making us struggle on that league. So first of all, we made the right signings. Those positions where we had a problem. So we made the right signings. So that, I think that was the biggest problem. We didn't have fit players for some positions. So we had to go kwa soko kidogo and we had to sign for those players. Another thing is, now that Super League sio mchezo, we are training even more harder. We're training like we're training for the Premier League. You know, when we're training with Badgers, we don't seclude ourselves at the Tigers, train that side, Badgers that side. No. If kila mtu anakimbia around 20, we all run 20 laps. So the training that Badgers are taking, it is the same training that we are taking. So if the bar has been set high for the Premier League, each and every player, we're Tigers or Masters, you have to be fit. So any player, the fitness that we are being given is any player from even Tigers can one day anaweza simama kwa Badgers na acheze. That is how we do train.
And we've seen you Parkroad. I was talking to Jugush offset, and I was telling him, I think Parkroad is the first club to have two teams in the same category win leagues, respective leagues in a single season. We haven't seen that. Was it part of the process, making sure that both of you, that is the Tigers and Badgers, you are on the winning end? Because as the TM has said, as Jerry has said, the objective was to win the league and go back to Premier League. Was the objective of Tigers just to get promotion, or to get promotion by winning the league?
I tell you, Saimo, amri ikitoka inatoka juu, na ilikuwa all teams must move to the next level. So vile Badgers walikuwa na kaza, it is the same way tulikuwa tunakaza. So we did not have a choice. So with the same measures that Badgers were putting, we had to also implement them, and we saw the results.
Okay, Dide, now we've seen you go to the market and recruit a number of players. Why recruit so many? Yet you've said that the club already has a lot of players.
Even as you answer that, Dide, as you answer that, tell me why you went for this guy called Simon.
Oh, this guy called Simon?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start in chronological order for the questions. One thing, what I said was we have 150 members in Parkroad, but not all of them are players, really active players. That's number one. Number two, we didn't sign that many players actually, because we only signed a total of 8 players, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's a total of 8 players. But remember, we have two teams in very competitive leagues. So each team actually ended up getting, what happened is we promoted some people from Tigers to go to Badgers. Eddie Agoro, the top scorer, and Matthias Kularire, the young boy who's in St. Joseph's Kitale. We pushed them out. We pushed them to the higher level, because if you look internationally in hockey, the younger players are the ones who are supposed to be at the peak. So we pushed them up. So we need to beef up Tigers as it is coming into the Super League. So it's just a total of 8 players we required, and we needed to fill in the gaps that the ones we promoted. That's why we got this fellow called Simon, just in case you're asking. Yeah, that's why we put him in there. Because someone had to fill a gap. And by the way, as Parkroad operates, is that as the season ends, if you don't perform highly in the team that's above, you're pushed to the lower team. And even in that team, you don't automatically get into the first 11. You have to fight for the spot, and so that you can go back up. However, our third target is to have both teams in the Premier League. That's our third target. Yeah.
Maybe Saimo, before I let you come back in, let's talk about the Wazee briefly, because we have concentrated on these two people, these two teams. How is it playing with retirees? And I'm sure you're part of that age gap of retirees. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How was your performance last season?
By then we were number 3. And that's because of a lot of discussion that got in between. And I remember the armed forces veterans had forfeited some matches they replayed later. So ideally, we were number 2, but that's a story for another day. It's beautiful because there are some of the people who had gotten off and they've fallen off the train and they've been forgotten. It's good to see some of the older players come back to the pitch, because like the Parkroad team, as we speak, the oldest player on the pitch on any given day was 54 years, and he played. We had a good run, and it's really something, and we want to push to the next level. We are looking to win the next Veterans League. This one, kama ingekuwa COVID, but still, once it resumes, we are sure going to win. Yes.
Let me ask you about the veterans, just to deviate off topic, and I hope Jerry can also contribute on this. Quite often we've seen most players, when they retire, they don't come back. They just go on with their lives. But it's good to have this veterans league. At least most of them are coming back to the sport. We've also seen some veterans take up roles in the club, while others take up the behind the scenes role. But do you think that it's important to have these veterans also come up to motivate young players, as your team now has a younger squad, not only Parkroad veterans, but other veterans from other clubs, just to come up and play an ambassadorial role for the game, so that at least we can motivate younger players to play at the highest level?
Yes, actually, it's good, because at least for us, Parkroad, we've kept veterans in the loop. It's only that they didn't have a competitive outlet. So when we say self-supporting, a huge chunk of our resources comes from the veterans. We contribute regularly every month to pay the bills for the clubs and to sustain the clubs in competition. And I think Jerry and Jose can attest to this. It's the veterans who have kept attracting the younger people coming back, because we support them. And for us, hockey doesn't just begin and end in the pitch. We have to take care of you socially, because if you're not stable at home or wherever you are, you'll not be able to come and perform for us. In addition, if you look at most of these veterans, they are in organizations and companies that can actually give to hockey and open up the sponsorship in the hockey world. So if they're not brought back, then again it becomes a challenge. Better still, a hockey player better understands the challenges, or someone who has played hockey will better understand the challenges another hockey player is going through, as opposed to someone who has never really played hockey. So it's critical for the veterans to be there, but also importantly, it's good to note that once people get out of hockey, hockey is a social game. We have social bonds, and once people fall off the hockey world, the world is not even. People struggle. So if we forget some of these veterans, they end up suffering. And in Kenya, there's no social support for older sports people. So unless we keep them in the radar, they might follow, they get forgotten, and they continue suffering. So looking at it from multiple dimensions, it's good for the veterans to be there. And especially for to have a competitive outlet, it brings them closer together.
Yeah. Okay. So Jerry, just as you find words to add on to what Didier has said, you've also played this sport for a while, and I've trained with you now for a couple of weeks. I've seen you mentor the younger lads in the team, train them on how they can grow. What are some of the things that you like to see the younger players improve on their game? Probably training, match day. Yeah.
Let me start by adding something on what Dide was responding to. I think when those people who have been in Parkroad, before the season starts, we always play something Wazee versus Vijana. And trust me, for the last maybe before 2018, we used to lose all those matches. The skill set these people have, it's only that now they're old and we might run them down. But the first 2 quarters, the skill set they have is unbelievable. And when you get to like teams like Kwazalendo, who have older people playing for them, trust me, the young guys don't know even how to tackle these old people. So I think they bring a wealth of experience. They bring a lot of composure on the ball. They bring a lot of what Didi was talking about, mental strength. Another thing is also, as you know, Parkroad is such a big family. So managing all these people, maybe me, DJ, and the coach Kanye, unfortunately, could not join today, is a lot of work. So when we get all these other veterans and older players in, we get to sit back and reevaluate and see things done differently. Maybe we are doing things the same way and we need a second or third opinion. On what you're saying, I've played hockey for a while. I think I started playing the league in Parkroad around maybe when in 1998, 99. I think what I want to see in the young lads is just commitment, pure commitment. We lack the discipline for the game nowadays. Several times, us when we were growing up, we never all we knew was hockey. You could wake up in the morning, take your hockey stick, go bang at your friend's door, just go and dribble the whole day. Nowadays, you have to like remind somebody he needs to train. You have to like call somebody for a match and tell them, where are you? We have a match at 2. It's 11. Where are you? So I think the most important thing is dedication to the sport, regardless of if it's paying you or not. When we go commercial, we lose it, and that's where I think we're losing it. Because if we start looking at what you're getting from the sport as opposed to what we can give to the sport, then we won't go anywhere. Given we are third world country and maybe we don't have corporates buying in at this moment, but at one particular time, hockey has given you more than you've given hockey. Given your distractions, maybe most of us would have been doing drugs or would have been doing other vices. Fitness, you rarely get ill. You might take it for granted, but it's because you're always fit. So your immune system is always up. You are alert at work. You're alert at school. So the new breed of players, we need them to be more committed to the sport, and discipline is paramount. If you don't have discipline, I think Saimo or Jugush can attest, or Dide. We've seen very great players. You see a player this season, next season. Then after 2 seasons, I'm coming to play. I'm seeing him on the bench, and then there's this saying people say, this is any was there to me hang boots. So you look at him and you wonder, all this talent, why are you wasting it?
True.
So I think that is what I would like to see in the young people.
Before Njugush pays our bills and read a few comments on social media, now to Joseph. Obviously, captaining a side that won the league is not easy. Keeping them motivated, I'm sure it's not easy. And we've talked about discipline. We've talked about Parkroad being a family, having the all-inclusive sort of membership. It's a family with veterans, young players, seasoned players coming in. Is is it part of what assisted you or what assists you as a captain to have such experienced heads coming through to assist you in leading a younger side?
Leading a younger side, first of all, you have to put yourself, lazima you lower yourself to their level so that you can be on the same page. The same way I and Jerry can have issues, can handle issues not the same way that I can handle issues with my junior player Pachin. So you must come to their level. You understand their thinking. Their thinking is not the same like I do. So you must come down, you understand them, and try and talk and try to have a chat with them so that you can understand them. But it is not that easy. But people have been brought up differently, and this generation is easy. This generation is easy. It is so hard to kuambia. But you come to their level, you understand them, you become their friend, and then from there, things will be easy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that softy kwa hii familia.
but
I'm looking at
yep.
I'm looking at the comments on Facebook, and it's indeed I can attest to what you guys are saying. You are a family, because the conversation going on here is just amazing. Let me just pick one, and I'll not read the first part. This is Solomon Weiss, who says, he talks about, let me just read it, because he talks about Arnold Abedi, the clean sheet kid who scores a D stand in math and an A in history. But he goes ahead and says, anyways, it was a pleasure playing for Parkroad last season. Impeccable performance, especially in terms of infield leadership, which is something that is really nice. Let me pay some bills. This is for you, Jerry, and everyone else who is here. If you are a developer, a homeowner, an architect, engineer, and you're planning to build a house, Jerry, najua unataka kujengea mama nyumbani, si ndio?
Kabisa. Ako nayo pia Tiana, but a better one.
Roger, tulia. Najua. So if you're looking for a proper waste management system or a treatment system, you need not to look any further, because I want to introduce to you to LBO Septic Solutions Limited, who are your number one or preferred installers of on-site sewer system. These are people who are part of us. They play the game, and they have a very fantastic product there. I'm sure Simon is displaying their contacts, or get in touch with them. The numbers are on your screens, or if not on your phones, wherever you are. So after this, I'm going to give you that number so that you jengee mama nyumba mzuri na tukuje huko housewarming.
Yeah. Na pia include Jose. Labda Jose ataangukia jackpot.
I can't hear you.
Good one. Answer is a story. I'm very curious. What are the three of you drinking? Because what are the three of you drinking? Kwa sababu kila mtu akona kakitu kake hapo. After 2 minutes anasip.
Wewe uliza Saimo. Ukishakochiwa na coach Kanyi, kuna kitu moja usiwahi mwambia nini ndio usiwahi kuja kwa kiwanja.
Let me tell you, Dugush, when actually just a 1 minute story. We had we've always been friends with Jerry, but in last year's tournament in Nakuru, we went out for a few drinks after the tournament with him, and we started talking. So he said he likes how I play in midfield. He would like me to join the club. So I told him, currently I don't have a club. Let me join Parkroad and enjoy. So, but he told me one thing, that when you come to Parkroad, make sure you have a water bottle and it is 1 liter and above.
Yeah.
1 liter and above.
Don't tell Jugushi what happens if you don't have it.
Yeah. So I was like, why tell me to come with a water bottle? You did not ask me to come with equipment or or subscription or anything. He just told me come with a water bottle. So when I went for my first training session with Coach Kanyi, hey, my friend, I gobbled down that 1 liter. It was a shot of tequila or whiskey. And then if Coach Kanyi doesn't get you with a water bottle, my friend, you'll just regret why you even went to that training session.
You need to invite Jugush for a session.
That's a good question. Good question. Now I know when I come to Parkroad what I should have with me. Jerry and probably Jose will just jump into this. Dide has talked about and has mentioned one of your youngest player who's probably under 18 at the moment.
Yes. Matthew 16.
How are you able? 16. How are you able to make him be part of you, especially when now he closes, he opens schools and goes to school, and then when he comes back, he's able to still fit into the system? What are some of the things that you put into place that even when he goes away from you guys, he's still able to come back and fit in properly and just play?
So, like Dide said, Parkroad is more than just a team. Initially, when they formed Parkroad, we used to stay in the same neighborhood. So like we used to grow playing hockey. Like I was 6. There was a football pitch. There was a cricket pitch. There's a hockey pitch. So we always encourage young people. We used to steal them from football to come and play hockey. So fortunately, most of these boys like Martin, like you know him, Mato, I think we tumemlea. We've seen him from 2 years old to now who is 16. So it's very easy to work with them because we always have a mentorship program. We want to nurture very young boys so that by the time they get to the main team, they know the culture of Parkroad, they know how the system we want to play, and anytime they go to school, like now, Jose Miumwita Kawaya can tell you, we have to send them a training program. We have weekly training program that Coach Kani formulates, and we have to share. So even if you go away from the team, when you come back, it's like you never left. So that is our strategy, and I think it works for us because it keeps us on the same page.
And as you've said, you have to keep track of the younger players, what they are doing, how they are training, and probably their personal lives as well. You said you have a mentorship program, but a question to you and to Dide, because you are part of the leadership of this club, a self-sponsored club. Why has it been difficult for a self-sponsored club to win top honors, that is the Premier League, either for women or for men? Why is it difficult for a self-sponsored club to win the Premiership?
Actually, I'll put it this way: it's the resources. Resources are limited. For you to look at the history of the teams that have won the last 5 years, it's just 2 actually: Police, Butali, right? But look at the resources and the support those teams get, because the equipment have to be at their best. There's also the issue of medical. A lot of people don't understand their injuries. There's physiotherapy. There's all sorts of things that go into that. Then there's diet. And then there is, of course, the other normal bills you have to pay, and all that stuff. So as long as for you to get to that point, we need all the players to be at a place whereby I'm not worried about my bills. I'm fully healthy. I have a good diet, and I've got support that gets me to and from the pitch at whichever hour, so that I'm able to train consistently and for the duration that is required. So essentially, it's just resources. But give it time, we will get there. We are working around the resources. Every year we look at the budgets, we see what is recurring, and how do we take care of that. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Dide, probably there's a sponsor who's watching you right now. What budget for running? Let's talk about just one club for now, because I'm sure we'll just simply multiply that by 3. What's the budget for to run this club comfortably in a year?
Exclusive of the most expensive aspect of running a club is actually the goalkeeper's kit. So if you exclude that, which is a good brand new kit is about 250,000. If you remove that, to run the club comfortably for a whole year, which includes in case of any injuries, paying for the physio and the treatment, it averages upwards of 700,000-800,000 per season. That's the average cost to run a club per season.
Okay.
So
it's
good.
Quite, and if you have, if there's,
yes.
So it must be a Herculean task to manage 3 teams then.
It is, but we survived. We came through the system. We've seen what it takes to get there. So you rally the troops and you pull yourself up and keep moving. It's for the love of the sport. Otherwise, we just let it go.
Okay. So before we call it a show, we come to the end of the show. That is a question to Jerry and Jose. Where do you think Parkroad Hockey Club will be in the next 5 seasons?
Let me start. For my side, 5 seasons. I know the internet never forgets, but 5 seasons, lazima we should be there in Premier League. That is where we are aiming. And then, God willing, you never know, we might go club champions. Badgers versus Tigers. Yeah.
Are you looking to go up to Badgers? Ama unataka kubaki hapo?
And right now they are watching. I don't want to.
Gugush, why are you putting him on the hot seat, man? and you know there are top guns watching.
When we get there, we know.
No, I know. I want him to sound a warning to Jerry and tell him it's time for him to go to the Wazir's League.
Yeah.
Go, Jerry. Where would you want to be at 5 years?
Jose is I think apart from winning the league, I think it's been a long time coming. We need to win the league. We need to represent this country in the club championship. And the most important thing, I think in 5 years, I think we should have a sponsor and have a sustainable program. Like DJ told you, running 3 teams, DJ is just being polite. I think the cost for one team can come to 1.3, 1.4 million and above. So running 3 teams, it's really draining, and we want to lure in sponsors. I think in the next 2-3 years, we need to have attracted a stable sponsor. I'm proud to say 1824 has been a very good partner, and they've been bailing us from very tight positions, but it's not enough. So I think in 5 years, we should have a sustainable program, and Parkroad should be able to move away from this self-supporting hiyo ndo jina watu, kila mtu akikuuliza nyinyi mnafanyaje, tunataka hata sisi niende kwa kiwanja nisifikirie nani atakula nini, nani fare itatoka wapi, just play hockey. That answers that question where we said that maybe it's harder, not that we cannot win the league, the sponsor team, but it's harder for us because when somebody like me or some other people go to the pitch, already we are dealing with a lot of things outside the pitch that when you go to the pitch, you're not at 100%. when you have away games, it's just a problem getting all the people together and go to play in Mombasa or maybe Kakamega. So I think if we can be stable financially in 5 years, in 2 to 3 years, that will be awesome.
Okay, great. Now, I think our time is up, but we can stretch it for a few minutes to allow Njugush read a few comments from our fans, and then we get our final remarks from the guests of the show, and then we call it a close.
Good. Lots of comments, and it's just conversations about the club, and guys seem to be having fun us talking. I was just trying to look at a few. This conversation between Brayo and Solo is really going on back and forth. Evanson Alulu says, but Simonski, the master touch, but kuna master touch and go. Aliniwekea nikampea heshima na ilikuwa tu game ya kwanza ya season.
Thanks, Alulu, man. Thanks,
fellow teammate.
Yeah, thanks, Alulu. Alulu made me promise one thing. Alulu made me promise that I make him the top scorer for this season. So I hope I'll live up to that promise.
And talking about that, Jerry, today you can clear this air.
Yes.
In the first game, Saimo went to his Facebook page and said he scored a goal, but it was counted as an assist. Please, as the overall captain, was it a goal or was it an assist?
Let me bail out Jerry because he was not there.
Okay.
So what happened?
Go on.
It was supposed to be a goal, but you know, in hockey, a goal is not a goal mpaka imevuka ile line. So Saimo's pass was almost vukaing that goal.
Why are you saying Saimo's pass?
Okay. Sure, yeah.
So I think with that has answered Juma and Alvo.
So anyway, Dide, if anyone wanted to support this club, how can they go about it? Do you guys have a pay bill number? If I want to write you a check of that 1.3 million, how can people get to support this club? Because I think in Kenya, one of the things that has happened is communities have rallied together and have raised clubs. And I believe there's one of two people outside there who that 100, 200 bob can help you relieve and not think about, what fare someone you're going to pay for someone.
Essentially, first and foremost, I'd like to sincerely thank 1824. They've had our back for quite some time now. They've kept us where we are, and we are still continuing to be grateful to them and request them to continue supporting us. Parkroad has a bank account. So essentially, we can give you the pay bill and the bank account number, and the money goes straight to the account. What we do generally, we are self-supporting, and we receive all sorts of support in cash or in kind. Because in kind, I mean like in terms of logistics. Maybe you have an away match. If you're a transport company, you don't really need to give us the money. Just offer. We'll give you a bus to take you to Mombasa to play and bring you back. We always will be forever grateful to that. Just get in touch with me, and everything will proceed. At any one time, if you require to see the breakdown of our budget for the season that's coming in, it's always available. We can front it to you. So I'm always available to give any information. You can talk to Jerry or Jose, and always available. But
and
we have a plan. Sorry, go ahead.
And how can guys get in touch with you?
My phone number is available. 722-783808, or you can just send me a quick email, Dideh, DIDDEH @yahoo.com. I'm always there. I'm always available.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Social media, Jerry?
Oh, the young fellows can tell you about the social media site. Sorry, I forgot about that.
That's why I quickly moved to Jerry.
There's a whole lot of them. Twitter, sijui nini, waulize hao.
Good there.
Mimi nishakubali.
I think we on Facebook, Parkroad Hockey Club, on IG Parkroad Hockey Club. Hapo ndo nimefika. Umbogo
Kuna Twitter, Jerry.
Izianga. Twitter.
Twitter is just part of the Hockey Club.
But mimi, as always, sina nilitaka uongee kidogo. Unajua umenyamaza sana.
Okay.
Yeah. So in case you didn't hear Jose say that also on Twitter it's Parkroad Hockey Club.
Sure.
Jose amjeka TikTok bado? Just asking.
Yeah, so thank you for watching the show. Thank you, Parkroad Hockey Club, for being with us today. Thank you, Dideh. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for just allowing us to have some time with you and speak about the club. It's a huge club. It's a huge honor to talk to you. And as we said, unfortunately, your Parkroad coach Kanyi wasn't available tonight, but we will have him in for another show because we know him also as a good fitness trainer. So we intend to have a show with him so that he can tell us how we can continue keeping fit if the lockdown continues, or how we can quickly get fit and back to the game when KHU decides that we resume to action. So Njugush, any last words before we call it?
No, I think for me it's just it's interesting to see the passion that is in this team. My takeaway is whenever they went down, they never gave up. They resolved to come back up where they deserve, and it's good to see what you guys are doing. Gilbert is really amazing. A membership of about 150 people is not an easy main feat, and just keeping people together as a family is such a good thing. Remember to follow us on our social media handles. That is Parkroad Hockey Club on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then even for Hockey Kenya, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and so the same for HockeyKE. These videos are available whenever, anytime that you'd like to watch. This Friday, we have another surprise, a family like this, and a bigger one for that matter. So stay tuned in on Hockey Kenya page. And yes, it's good to have you guys, Jerry.
Yeah. Yes, Njugush is also available on social media. He has a page. Make sure you like the page. It's called @It's George Juguna. If you search for the page on Facebook, you'll get it. Or just search George Juguna on Facebook, you'll get it. He's also available on Twitter and Instagram as @itsJugunaG, @its_JugunaG. Myself, Simon Ninsky, across all platforms. Hata TikTok mkitaka mtanipata hapo ndani. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for the comments. There've been so many. I hope Akina Jerry will have time and go through them, answer any questions that we were unable to. And remember, this club needs your support. You can get in touch with any one of them. So until next time, folks, bye-bye.